Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about another major upcoming winter storm, and this one's going to be taking place a little bit further out, but it's going to get a little bit quiet here, so we're going to start talking about a little bit further in the long range. We're going to be talking about this one for quite a while. Now, before we get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do think of weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, first off, I'd highly recommend that you check out our very exciting Patreon page, where we just uploaded a snowfall forecast for that first, more minor snowstorm that we're going to take a little bit of a look at. So if you want to check out that official snowfall forecast, you can join the Patreon page today in the description and in the pinned comments down below. Also, we have a channel membership. You can join that by clicking that join button next to the subscribe button if you decide you would like to do that. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think this upcoming winter storm is going to happen? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get straight into this video, and first things first, we're taking a look at that more minor snowstorm, like I said. It's going to start out in the Ohio Valley right here in the morning hours of Tuesday, and then as we move towards about Tuesday afternoon, you can see it actually becomes a little bit stronger, and we're seeing mostly snowfall there for the Northeast and portions of New England as well. Let's take this and begin to look at that second snowstorm system. Yeah, there's a second, more minor one as well. And this one's going to be mostly for the Mid-Atlantic. So we're seeing this one start out for the Ohio Valley and portions of the Mid-Atlantic. And what we're going to do is we're going to move on in just a moment and watch this one become a lot more major for cities like DC, maybe Richmond, and then even up through Baltimore, Philadelphia, portions of the Delmarva, and New Jersey as well. So as you can see, this one has really just progressed. By the time we're taking a look at maybe about 11 a.m. there on Thursday, February 11th, we can see that there's plenty of snowfall going on for a lot of these states here. Let's just move this on towards about, I would say about 1 a.m. there on Friday, and as you can see, we do see plenty of snowfall there as well for, again, similar regions. Still that heavy snowfall going on. This one's going to be pretty major, I think. We could see 10 inches plus, and it could shift north, east, south, or west, so we're going to be watching for all of those shifts closely. Obviously, as we get closer to this storm, we will talk a little bit more about it. We're still a few days away from this one as well. And as you can see here, it does end up going a little bit further north as some snow showers up there for New England. But really, these models do not have that one intensifying very much at all. But the storm I really want to talk about here is this one. By the time we're taking a look at about 6 a.m. on Sunday, February 4th, the European model has this as a very, very immediate coast snowstorm, but that is definitely an outlier at this point. We're going to take a look at some other models later on, and you will see that it is certainly looking a lot different on some of those models. How connected these two storms can be, I think they could be rather connected. As time draws closer, I think these storms could come closer and closer and closer and be one system. We've seen some of the models trend at that, these being a lot more connected than this model is showing right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at that GFS model and watch what that one has to say, because it has a much more major solution at this point. Alright, now here we are taking a look at that GFS model, like I said. This is by about 6 a.m. there on Thursday, so this is that second snowstorm system, and as you can see, for areas like Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York City, even in through portions of New England. So this one already is looking a little bit further north on that first system, again, about Thursday morning. But by the time we're taking a look at late on Saturday, take a look at this. Absolute monster of a snowstorm moving in. We see snowfall all the way down in Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Illinois. I'm kind of skeptical about that further south snowfall. You didn't see that on the thumbnail. That's because I think it's very far-fetched. But we will be watching for that threat closely, and I do think it is certainly possible. So as time, again, draws closer, like I said before, we might be updating this a bit as we see this unfold. I want to see that a little bit more consistently on the models and a little bit closer to when that storm is actually happening. Now, the GFS model at this point has mostly a low pressure center that moves very far inland, and it keeps the coast all rain. We're so far out that we could see major shifts in any direction, and I do think this could easily become a coastal system, as some of the models have trended at. So that's kind of why I kept that on the thumbnail. I do think that's a big possibility at this point, and given the pattern we're in, I think that's actually the more likely solution at this point. But if this solution was to play out, we would see a huge snowstorm for Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and even New England as well. But on the eastern edge, it would slowly transition to rain as this storm moves further and further north. By the time we're taking a look at about 1 a.m. there on Monday, February 15th, you can see that this storm actually moves up into New England, bringing more of the interior New England regions some snowfall, but the more coastal regions, a little bit more rain and mixing going on. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to move on. We're We're going to take a look at what that Canadian model has to say about this storm coming up in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at that second system actually, and as you can see on Wednesday at about 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. there, February 10th, so we're only about 2 days away from this one. The Ohio Valley gets taken over by pretty significant snowfall. I'd say probably moderate to heavy at this point. West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Maryland also getting involved there. As we move this forward, you can see by the time we're taking a look at about 3 a.m. on Thursday, so you can tell this one hits a lot earlier than the other models. Again, that timing could definitely shift at this point. We can see that New Jersey, portions of Delaware and Maryland, southeastern Pennsylvania, and even up through Long Island, New York City, and even in through southern New England is actually getting a pretty good chunk of snowfall there, but this eventually weakens out by the time we're taking a look at about Friday afternoon. It looks a lot weaker by that point. We do see that more major snowstorm that we're watching very, very closely move in around Sunday, and as you can see, this one is a wintry mess, really is what I would call it. Tons of yellows, tons of pinks, and it doesn't really get that snowfall going at all. Take a look at how much further west this one is on this model. By the time we're taking a look at about Tuesday at about 2 a.m., the models are so inconsistent at this point. My confidence is super low at this point. You'll see that a little bit later. We could see a snowstorm anywhere at this point, and it could be to any severity. It could be a very major snowstorm or a less major snowstorm. Anything is possible at this point with this system, considering how inconsistent the models are at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the total snowfall according to all of these models in just a moment. All right, now here we are taking a look at that European model. Take a look at how much snowfall is expected over the next few days, heading into, I guess, about 7 days from now. So over the next week, given that there's going to be a few minor snowstorms and probably at least one major snowstorm there, look at all the purples. That's where you're at about 6 to 10 inches of snow. And then within those pinks, that's where we're at about 10 to 20 inches of snow. And even those kind of teal pastel shades there for West Virginia, Maryland, and through southern Pennsylvania as well. That's where we're at about 20 inches plus. So there's a ton of snowfall expected according to this European model. Will the other models agree? Let's take a look at the GFS model, and it has even more, way more, for different regions, but really it has, 20 inches to 30 inches to even 30 inches plus here for the Ohio Valley, and then in through the interior northeastern United States there, where we have 30 inches plus. This could be a very, very snowy 7 days here for many, many regions here. All right, very widespread pinks as well. Super interesting pattern we're heading into. And then the Canadian model has pretty much the least amount of snowfall out of any of these, but take a look at how different the locations are. We're taking a look at the upper Midwest, mostly seeing a lot of the snowfall here. There is a lot for the Ohio Valley and the Northeast, but really it's just so different on each of these models. Every single one is so different. So my confidence is at about rock bottom for any of this. We know that there will be snowfall. It's just everything else is basically a question mark at this point. European ensemble model, as you can see, it does have that area in purple basically in its crosshairs, as you can see. So West Virginia up through Northern Virginia, the Delmarva, Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, and then southern New England there. All of those areas is where it pretty much is eyeballing the potential for a major snowstorm. It's very typical for an ensemble model to call for less snowfall than the deterministic model, so don't pay too much attention to those amounts. It will likely be a lot more snowfall than that. This is multiple opinions all put together. Here's our GFS ensemble model, and look at the difference. We can see the Ohio Valley getting a ton more snowfall here than what the European model was calling for. And then this more eastern region of that snowfall is much further northward, as you can see. So for Pennsylvania up through New York and then in through New England, it doesn't really have those Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland, Delmarva regions really seeing quite as much snowfall. It takes it much further north than that. So we have multiple opinions, but we do know there will be snowfall. Very interesting pattern we find ourselves in here. I love this about weather when it's really just a huge question mark and we have to figure it out together. Well, anyway, this is going to be a whole lot of fun to track with you guys. I can't wait for the coming days where we're going to get more and more answers to these questions that we have about all of these systems. Super fun week coming up here at Direct Weather. Anyway, for our confidence, we're at a 1 out of 6, obviously. For that first system where we made a snowfall forecast, we're probably at a 5 or a 6. But overall, for the whole week of snowfall, we're at about a 1. It could set up anywhere, and it could be any amount at this point. I'm basically not confident in anything other than the fact that there will be snow. Anyway, for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, how long do you think that polar vortex and just extreme Arctic air is going to last? And Stephen Bestow said, I think that the cold air could potentially linger until the 20th of February. And I think that's a good estimate. I mean, the next 12 days are looking very cold for the more central regions of the United States as that polar vortex moves in. I think at least till the 20th is a good guess, but well after the 15th it appears. Anyway, for our patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons. Sebastian Tao, John Bembenek, James Wade, Dovi Nagel, Alan Belemo, Adam S., Larry Lepan, Donna Carnes, Cameron Marshall, and Aidan Mattis, alongside our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Alan Sherry, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Michael Buell, Terry Curtis, Cat Bite, Charles Stinnett, Kellen Manhart, It's Jay, Cindy Klein, Alicia Davis, Mark J, Luke Falego, Gary's, and John Quilisi. If you would like to be a part of this Patreon screen of the day, you can do so by joining our very exciting Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.